Hi guys, it's Mickey here from A Pretty Talent and the Waterwell Ministries, and today I want to talk a little bit about embossing. Now I have a number of embossing folders here. I'm preparing for a rather large women's retreat that have not as yet been scheduled. Let me just say this. I know I need to prepare for this, and I'm preparing for 60 people to attend the retreat, but I have not as yet got an idea when and where this is going to take place. But in any case, I am preparing for this, and I'm preparing for 60 people to attend, and as a result, I'm doing a lot of bulk preparation for this retreat. Now, we are experiencing a rather heavy electrical storm at the moment. So you will hear the thunder, there's lightning, there's rain. It is lovely and also a little bit scary, to be quite honest. Now I need to quickly plug in my power cord here, because I don't want the battery to go. Okay, so embossing is a lovely way of creating all sorts of paper crafts and things. And I've actually just embossed this one. It's not neatly trimmed and everything. So this is a plain white paper, which if you look at this, I'm going to try and bring this a little bit closer to the camera. I again did not switch on the light. At what stage am I going to realize I need to do that? Okay, so this is the debossed side of this one, and it's just white, but on this side I have inked the embossing plate, and I'm going to show you how to do this. And this is how I achieved the color here. There's actually two ways of doing this, and I think I need to show both ways. This is just the one way. I've used the same embossing plate on a toilet roll that I have cut open, just literally this. Sure, I haven't got a single roll going now. What would this be? The roll would be something like this. This is one that unfolds all on its own, so I need to do something else with this. And then when it's rolled like that, you just literally cut it open. As I said, this one, the glue loosed itself, so that's not actually how it works. So this would be rounded and then cut open. And then what I do is I spray it with water, both sides, because it's a thick cardboard. And I take a iron and I iron it flat, and then I put this through the embossing folder. Now, this was an impromptu one that I've just done on a video, and I hadn't planned to do this on the video. So normally what I would do is I would glue down these loose pieces, and most toilet rolls will have these loose pieces. Oh goodness, I've just glued down my glass plate. But even these, I prefer those to be glued down a little bit better, and then I start playing with it. But in any case, you get the idea. Yeah. Now I'm going to show you how to do that today. Before I continue, why would you want to do that to your discarded toilet rolls? Well, because you can make these things with it. So this one is meant to go that way around, and these two go this way around. These are literally those toilet rolls, same thing that I've done. And then I've neatly trimmed it, because this is not neatly trimmed yet. Folded in half. Oh my word, the glue is still wet. Okay, fold it in half. And then once it's folded, you can see that that's going to be the same size, right? I do a little bit of I just put a couple of discarded papers, old papers, notebook papers in here, stitch it together. You can also use a stapler, don't have to use a 3-hole stitching method, and decorate it. And this becomes a cute little book to put inside of a journal. And these are all the same idea. And these used to be empty paper rolls. That's what I made these from. And they become lovely. Now, what do I intend to do with these? Let me grab this and I'll show you. here's a couple of the ideas of what's happening with this retreat that I'm planning. Each lady will be getting a journal like this one, and things are not going to be completed, because the idea is that I'll bring this up to a certain point, and then each lady or gentleman, I suppose, I don't know, will be able to finish their own product. So I'll give them the beads and the elastics that they need and whatever, but they will be able to finish this themselves. Now this is you know, the brown paper bag that your groceries are delivered in. This is what I made that from. That's what's on the inside. This is fabric, and this is an old German book that I found at a charity store, and I put this all together. Now inside here, I don't have a page ready to show you, and this is too large. Okay, so you will have, let me just fold it. Okay, you will essentially have a page go in like this, and obviously this is not the right side. So a couple of pages, and then this becomes a journal, and once those pages are filled up, you can take them out and you can refill your journal. So that's the idea behind the journal that we're creating. And this, I think, I need to pray over this a little bit more, but I think this is going to be an art journal. And so I'll put various art papers and things in here. But as I said, this is something I do prayerfully, because this is a ladies' retreat, which honestly God is planning, not me so much. So what have I got here? These are homemade papers. They are discarded white papers that I have taken old gift wrapping papers and things, and I have covered it with that, a little bit of ribbon or whatever it is. Then I folded it up. These were 12 by 12 inch papers. They came inside the plastic sleeves that we used for the scrapbooking. I've cut off a strip at the bottom. I've taken the same old German book, pasted this at the top, and other papers I've cut up and I've made tabs of them, and they still need to be finished. Like I said, these things are not meant to be finished. They're brought up to a certain point, and then we're going to show. So these we want to turn into pre-charts. Pre-charts? Pre-cards. That's the word I'm looking for, pre-cards. The idea is to journal prayers and to show you a little bit about how you can turn your prayers into pictures, etc., etc. These are meant to be turned into bookmarks. These are the offcuts from the bottoms of the pages. Still white on the back because nothing is finished. I don't finish everything. And then I have a pocket left on this side. And what I was thinking is to slip one of these in here. Again, not a finished product. This is now finished product. I will prepare the toilet roll covers and probably slide it in the papers and whatever, but you can put it together yourself, decorate it yourself, etc., etc. So that's the idea with this. And so I have 60 of those to make. Now, why did I even include this? I wasn't going to talk about it. I've talked about it. Whatever. Maybe there's a reason for it. I don't know. What I really want to do this video on is the art of embossing. So I wanted to show you some finished products on what you can do with embossing. And I just realized that the one thing I wanted to finish, I neglected to finish. I wanted to finish this card. Because I talked about this one in a previous video when I talked about die cutting the tin cans, the aluminium cans. And this was from an embossing plate. Here's the embossing plate. There you can see it. That's the embossing plate that I've used. I've cut off the bottom here, the happy birthday. I did not want that included in the tin. I wanted to include it in a different way. And I thought I would finish this card. And then a Temu parcel arrived and I got sidetracked and I forgot to finish this. But I wanted to show you, this is another idea of what you can do with your embossing plates. I'm not going to use this one for the things that I want to do now. So, what else? Yeah. Oh, this is upside down. This is an embossing plate that I've used. And all that I've done after I've finished with it was to bring in my blending brushes and my inks and I blend over the different areas of the embossed image with different colors, and this is the result of that. I want to show you a couple more examples. Here's another one. So this is an embossing folder here in the background. So in this case, I've just embossed it, and then I came in with an ink pad and very lightly taking the ink pad, opening it up, obviously, I'm not going to use that now, and then very lightly touching this, and that's what created the color on the embossed image, and then of course my die cut images on top of that. So these are a couple of ideas on what you can do with embossing. Let me quickly see if I can find another example. Here's another example. Again, an embossed backdrop. And these words are die cut and stuck on afterwards. And again, a little bit of inking to just lift out the image a little bit more, accentuate the image a little bit more. Okay, so that's the idea. Let me not carry on with that. That's the idea with embossing. That's a couple of ideas of what you can do with embossing. And I want to get straight, just get on with the idea, the task of embossing. So here's your die cutting embossing machine. It's the exact same machine. The plates, you will want to probably use a little bit thinner plates because your embossing plates are already rather thick. Now, before I do this, I am going to show you. So your embossing plates have embossed and debossed sides, and these valleys and hills, valleys and hills fit inside each other, and that's what's causing the raised image to appear. Right, so that's the side. Now what shall we do on this one? I think I'm going to go with a little bit of purple, that's lavender, and I'm going to come in with another one in between. Oh my word, I am so doing this wrong. I shouldn't cross-contaminate my colors. Brand new inks, brand new, they've just arrived. Okay, now when you emboss toilet paper rolls, because this is a rather thick cardboard, let me just stick this down. Now my glue is rather empty as well. Okay, but because this is a rather thick cardboard, no, that'll be fine. We need to just touch it with water, because otherwise it might crack in the process. Now I'm also going to spray my ink and just make it a little bit more soluble, and then I'm going to put this plate smack in the middle of this cardboard, smack in the middle of the plate. I'm going to sandwich in the sandwich. I'm going to sandwich this embossing folder inside my cutting plates and shims and whatever it is that I used to build my sandwich with. I'm so skew. I wonder if it's just going to go through. It's going to go through. Okay, now I don't actually need to reverse. I'm quite sure this would have been fine. Okay. Yes, it is fine. Now I don't necessarily like how the ink ran there. So let me do this. I'm just going to clean my plate. Okay. And then, okay, this one is already saturating into the folder. Okay, that's fine. Okay, you can see the lovely embossed pattern on this toilet roll. Empty toilet roll. Ugly little thing that I am turning into something pretty. I would not necessarily leave it at that. I think what I would prefer to do is to come in with a little bit more color and just touch on some of those surfaces. Yeah, I can work with this. This I can turn into something pretty. If this is not finished, I would probably come in with a little bit of bling, a little bit of something shiny, and it's a bit wet now, but I will show you. Okay, so I have these mica powders that I've turned into makeup, and somewhere long time ago, a couple of years ago, I blogged on how to make makeup. This is a eye color makeup, right? So they're all blingy, they're mica powders, so micas tend to be blingy. And it's actually makeup, but I'm not really much of a makeup person. I don't know, I got a bee in my bonnet and decided to make makeup, but I'm not a makeup person. And so what I would rather do is to use this in my craft room. Now honestly, like I said, should wait for this to dry, but it's just a toilet roll, an empty toilet roll. If this turns out a mess, then I toss it. There will always be another toilet roll in your life. But yes, you can see, and I don't think it's going to matter too much that it's not dry yet. So I take this. It's eye makeup. Can be rather inexpensive. It all depends on where you buy it. But if you're going to use it in your craft room, I'm going to tell you, advise you, to go buy it from a very inexpensive store. It is not quality you're looking for. It isn't that gorgeous. Isn't that absolutely lovely? Can you see the shimmer? I hope so. And this is going to, I mean, this is not even finished yet. This is just the initial colors that I'm putting on. It's going to look absolutely fantastic by the time we're done with it. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm tossing things around here like it's going out of fashion. Okay, so that's one idea with a toilet, empty toilet roll. I'm not going to emboss all the toilet rolls here. I am going to give you an indication, or try to give you an indication of what these embossing folders look like. Now you also get 3D embossing folders. I didn't pull out any of those. I have only one, but I don't want the deep embossing. It's all the rage these days, but for this, I wouldn't want the deep embossing. I want a rather, this is good. Okay, so this is like a sun ray. This is the other one that I've done. It's that one. Well, that one. This is that other one that I've shown you. Now I've got to reach to find it. Where it is. Here it is. Okay, this is that one. Where am I holding this? Oh goodness. Like you can, okay. This is the embossing folder that I've used on that one. And these are roses. I'm not sure you can see all of this. Do I need a background? I think the background makes it worse. Okay. There's a little bird on a twig with leaves and flowers and things in between. Is it better to see it like that? I'm not sure. These are like what, more, I suppose daisy-like flowers. Not quite, I don't know. Some of them have a black ink to it. Okay, these are leaves, all sorts of leaves. See, these are easier to see. When they don't have the black markings, then it's more difficult. So these are your dandelions. Oh, these circles are gorgeous. They make some of the most interesting patterns and things. Didn't I do one of these on a circle? No, I didn't. Okay, the dots as well. Some more leaves. The wood grain idea always works beautifully. This is more linear kind of patterns, geometry kind of patterns. Love those as well. More leaves. I like leaves. The sort of meteor shower. I don't know. Bubbles. This is more like a protea type design. I don't know. Brick wall makes for lovely designs. The stars, filigree, waves. Oh, there's another one of those. I do sometimes have doubles. And the reason for that is because sometimes I am being really stupid and I forget that I have a certain design. And then I buy another copy of it. But more often it is actually when people give up certain hobbies. And because they know I do the workshops and the things, they then donate to me. So that's where I also have the doubles. It doesn't matter because in the workshops, if the more you have to distribute, the better for everyone involved. Okay, so this one is an alphabet design. Should I open this? See, oh my goodness, if I can get it open. So an alphabet design. The intertwining ropes. Hearts. This is a gear system, gear and cog system. Okay, there we go. These are dominoes. They look like dominoes or something. Stamps, keys. I think you get the idea. This is script, numbers. And I honestly think you get the ideas. These are slightly larger. They also come in different sizes. Didn't say that. But let me not go on and on and on about something which is really boring. What I really want to do is rather show you how to use them. Now, other than cutting it from cardboard, which this is actually more like a paper. You can cut it from the cardboard. The empty toilet rolls are certainly cardboard, but you don't have to use empty toilet rolls. You can cut it from any kind of cardboard, obviously. But I also wanted to show you something rather special, and I've already hinted at it. The aluminum cans. Aluminium cans. They are called by different names. I'm really cluttering myself here so that I can't work anymore. The aluminium cans and how to put those through the die cut machine. Now, this was an interesting can that I found. When I cut it open, it turned out that the image on the can was actually a loose piece of plastic film, a plastic film, which I could just take off. It wasn't even glued to the can. And as a result, I have an aluminum can with two shiny sides to it, which is rare. Normally you would have the image of the cold drink on the one side and then the, I want to do this one. I think this is going to be a lovely one. Now, this will not fit 100%, and that'll be fine. I'm going to just put it in like that. And this end that sticks out, let it stick out. I can always cut it off after. I will cut it off after. And I'll show you how to do that. And I'm going to, there are my, okay. It's going to go in exactly the same way. This time I don't wet the aluminum can. It's very unlikely that the water will make any difference to it. It will just run off, won't it? I think I need to take one or both of the shims out. We'll see now. Both. Both. It's not going. It's pulling the top plate and not feeding the bottom plate. Still pulling the top plate. Why? What is your story? I've never used this embossing folder, and it might be that this one is just thicker than what I am used to working with. Now this is hot. I'm not sure I like that. So how about I put the shim back, but at the bottom. Is that enough resistance? I kind of doubt it. I really kind of doubt it. Didn't fit. No, that's not a good embossing. Okay, let's put another shim in there. See if that makes a difference. I don't like that either. You know, you get to know your machine, and it doesn't have enough resistance. You can tell. Now there's an image. Oh, it's actually a good image. Would I like more? I actually think I would like more. I'm gonna try once more. This is a thin plate. It should be happy with it. Why is it not happy with it? Okay. I'm gonna give it one more shot. It's not a bad image yet, but I want just a little bit more. More. Give me more, Seymour. No. See what's happening? It's just pulling through that plate. I don't want that. I have other plates here. Okay, how about I do this? This is a rather thick plate. A very thick plate. Thicker than any of these. These come in different sizes, by the way. And depending on what you're cutting, you will need a thicker or a thinner plate. As you can see, I'm struggling to find the right. My sandwich is not straight. I'm struggling to find the right. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Hear that crackling sound? That's what I want. Okay. So finally the right combination. Okay. Now this is, okay, let's not talk yet. That's the reveal. Look at that. Oh, well, maybe that was a bit too much pressure. Not to worry, there's enough here for me to work with. But that is the idea here. You know what, on second thought, that might have been too much pressure, because look, it has cut it in a couple of places. So when I glue this down, I will need to be careful to glue it down properly. Well, this might fall apart. I'll have to use a lot of glue on that one. Okay. It's a pity. Maybe I should do another one of aluminum foil. In aluminum foil. My word, I cannot get the word out today. So what's the difference here? The difference is this. Where's that caliper? Okay, so I have this very nice caliper. This is 2.5 millimeters thick. This is 3.9 millimeters thick. Now, you cannot use the same plates for two embossing folders that are that widely different. And so whilst one sandwich worked fine for the empty toilet rolls, that same sandwich would not cut this specific plate because of the thickness of the plate. I am rather determined to show you a more proper cut in aluminum foil. So let me get this. As with empty toilet rolls, I have empty cold drink cans lying around my house because I craft with rubbish. I do. I take rubbish and I repurpose it and I craft with it and I turn it into something gorgeous. Do I want to use... Yes, I can, because I'm going to lose these rough edges on the side. So I don't mind that they will not go properly into... Oh my goodness, just go in, will you? Okay, that's fine. I was still going to show you that other thing. Okay, I don't want this very thick plate thing, because that was too much, wasn't it? So let's rather go back to the thin plate we had with the two shims, which I had discarded in the first attempt because I thought it wasn't nicely cut. In the meantime, I should have just opened it properly and I would have seen that it was nicely cut. But in any case, okay. It's just an empty can. It is someone else's rubbish, which to me turns into art. Okay, so this time I don't have all that. There's a crackle, but it's not that deep. It's not that intense. And when I lift this up, you can see this time it's only embossed, but it's not cut through. Do I need more pressure? Possibly. But can I also say it's very easy to put this back and line it up properly on its previous lines and run it through a second time. Let me just find the lines. And you can, there we go. That's where it was. And you can apply a little bit more pressure, cut it a second time. And with embossing, the images tend to just lie down again where you had them. Tell you or show you? Well, let me not tell you. Let me show you, right? Okay, how many times can you see me? Watch me cut out the same image from aluminum foil. Yo, this is a lot of pressure. I think it's going to cut through again. Not sure. You see, no, it's going to cut. Let me reverse this because I think I already messed it up. Okay, anyways. I have more thinner plates and I should use that. Okay. Stronger can than the other one, isn't it? Didn't quite cut apart the way the other one did. Okay, so what would I do here? I would quite simply bring in my scissors, cut this off to use somewhere, and I'll trim it, obviously I'll trim it. And then I can make a nice background. Or sometimes I bring my punches in and I punch the do I have a punch here? Well, a circle punch, it's not humongously exciting. You punch this side. So I'll take the embossed image. And by the way, punches work better when you have them upside down. And then I'll punch it. And these punched out images I will then also use as a center for a flower or whatever it is that I want to do. So yeah, there's loads loads and loads of ideas on what you can do with, well, essentially rubbish. So embossing, in short, you can emboss just about anything, and you can turn it into something gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, with a little bit of effort, not too much. I'm thinking I should do something on this one before I let you go, just to show you that this ugly one I like the idea of putting bling on a discarded toilet roll. An empty toilet roll that has a bit of bling to it. Let me put that there. And then I want to come in with, I think, a different shade of blue. And that ugly one, look at my finger now. That ugly one turned out gorgeous. Can I do it on this as well? Yes, absolutely I can. Let me not come in with the same colors. Let me show you what I do with this. So these are micas that will change color. This one is actually white. That's the one I'm looking for. So some of these, let me show you. Oh, this one says purple. Okay. So some of these, when you actually use them, can you see that they will turn purple? So I didn't want that. Oops, I almost took that. Well, could have used it, but I wanted to show you. Oh my goodness. I'm cluttering myself. I wanted to show you if I just use a white sparkle on the same one. Then just see how absolutely gorgeous this is. Making makeup is actually really easy to do. Can I just say that? I'll see if I can link the blogs that I wrote on making different kinds of makeup, mascara and eyeliner, and did I do mascara? Yes, I did. An eyeliner and eyeshadow and what did we do? A blush. I made blush. Lip balm. Yeah, I go through these phases where I get a bee in my bonnet, and then I want to find out about things. I want to find out how it's made. I want to discover things, and then I do, and I run with it, and well, I don't tend to stop until I have exhausted the idea. The only thing I didn't actually make, come to think of it, was lipstick. I made lip balm, but not lipstick. Well, lip balm, lipstick is going to be the same thing essentially, but you're going to have to add the colors to it. So here's your embossed image. And I'm hoping that shine, that shimmer is caught on camera, because it is lovely in real life. Really hope the lights catch that. Easy. Easy, easy. There's another way of doing this. Oh, and I hadn't planned on showing that. So I haven't got anything ready. But let me see. I think it is right here by me. If it is, I can show you. It is a cake roller, but I think I need to take my glass mat away because I'm going to apply a little bit of pressure now. Which one am I going to use? This one, this one, this one. Let's use this one with the alphabet. A little bit of water, spritzing it. Okay. Do I want to ink this? Shall I, shan't I? Ugh, why not? Let's ink it. I haven't shown you the dry inking yet, have I? So, might as well do that thing. Might as well do that, okay. So this time round, I'm going to ink the embossing folder, but I am not going to spritz it with the water. And you will see there's a bit of a difference when I do that. Okay, so I'm going to put this there somewhere smack in the middle. And now, of course, since I don't have the plate to roll it, I need to be applying the pressure. And did I have to use a thick cardboard for this? This was a... I gotta be honest with you, I think for the amount of pressure that I can apply, I need to have chosen a thinner paper than this. Not much embossing on the side. Oh goodness, let me just do it. There you go. So, there is some embossing. There is. You can see the numbers and the stuff on the side. So there is some embossing. But this is a little bit more like... okay, so there's the embossing. I'm not sure that I was on camera, so let me just show you again. There is some embossing visible. And that's come through to the side. This is almost more like stamping with your embossing plate, but if I use paper, isn't that lovely? I actually like the dry ink technique better on these, but okay. Done that now. I want to find whatever. Okay, so I'm working with a discarded piece of paper here. I just want to show you the idea of this. Really, just show you the idea. Now, honestly, no. Yes. No. I don't like the idea of red and blue and green. Although red and white and blue is, of course, some of the most common color combinations for countries' flags. Okay, so how intricate is this one? Sure, it should work, I'm sure. I like the colors for this. Which colors am I going to go with on this one? Why not? Let me go with this as carved jade. Oh, this was buck rose. This is carved jade. Okay, I'm going to just ink it up like that. This time I have a thinner paper. I want this to... I don't think it matters too much. Okay. Put that one down there. And pretty much do the same thing. applying the pressure manually. So if you don't have that embossing machine and you can get your hand on embossing plates, you can essentially recreate something very similar with your cake roller. If I stand up and I apply a bit of weight and pressure to this, I'm quite sure the results will be better. We turn it over once more. Okay. I'm less concerned with rolling it. It's not dough. And I'm more concerned with applying the pressure. So that's why you'll see me. It's not really a rolling action. Okay, there you go. Can you see those raised stars? How absolutely gorgeous is that? I'm not going to throw this away. I'm going to use this somewhere. I don't know where, but I love this. I'm sure I can turn this into the background for a card or something. Just imagine I can do that. Anyways, so that's without a machine. You can see on the side, the debossed side. Naturally, the indentations are not as pronounced as when you use the machine, which can apply way more pressure than I can. But here's what I want to tell you. If you cannot afford the machine, there are other options. There are other options. There's always another way of doing something. And this is one of those ways that you can do something. Anyways, I don't have much more to say. I think that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show you a little bit about embossing. I said I would. And now you've seen the embossing folders. Well, some of the embossing folders I have, they come in more sizes. You get small ones, you get long ones, you get thin ones, you get strips. They come in words like here, where you have the words happy birthday. But the whole die would be just that size with a happy birthday. They're not necessarily this size. You also get much larger. I have larger ones. Why didn't I bring more ranges? Because I thought there was enough already. But in any case, so you'll get larger embossing folders as well. And depending on your project and the size of your machine and so on, you can use them or not use them. But I hope that you have the ability to go out and buy yourself a machine like this. If this is something that you are thrilled with, that money will not be an obstacle to stand in your way. But if it is that you rest assured in the idea that there are alternative ways of doing it, and that you find peace and solace in that idea, because sometimes we chase things. And I am now preaching to myself. I chase things. And in the end, I have so many things that I can barely use them. I use my stuff all the time. But I have so many things that I can never fully use or utilize anything. And yeah, that's a bit of a pity. So I want to put myself on a buying diet. I'm not allowed to buy anything except the absolute necessities. But in any case, yeah, we'll see if that works. But that's my intention. Let me leave you with a thought. May you enjoy what you have. May you find peace in your circumstances. And may your blessings be abundant, but may they not be material. May God our Father and our Lord Jesus Christ be with you, is my prayer in Jesus' name. Cheers, guys.